What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Random Encounter Podcast, episode 166. I'm your host, James, and I'm joined by the Dress Fear Master, who's actually not in costume today, but he's still the dominant himself, Bryant.
Live from Rusu Mountain. Yeah, I just didn't feel like I'm nice and cozy in the thermal, and I just sometimes don't feel like putting on a t-shirt either over it or just wearing the t-shirt. So I'm just kind of plain today. I'll let my words do the dress fearing today, I guess.
I mean, thermals are always comfortable. I love thermals. I have a few of them. I like wearing them. But you don't get to use it much over here, but still.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, here it's like been my uniform for the last like 4 months.
And of course we got the fanboy himself, Phaneckswhy.
What's up?
He's gonna be. I think he's gonna have to take the title of Dress Fear Master. He's got his Final Fantasy VI shirt.
Yeah, that's a nice shirt. I like it.
Actually,
Is that
just ordered
Uniqlo?
a new. Yeah, but I just ordered a new ET shirt that should be coming.
Oh, what shirt did you order?
It's the one with Alphonse surrounded with like baby chocobos.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. They
Oh,
they
that's cool.
have new Final Fantasy shirts.
This was on Yeti.
Oh, I thought you were
Yeti
talking.
or whatever.
Oh,
Yeti.
sorry.
Sorry.
I thought you were talking about.
Sorry.
I thought you were
Yeti.
saying UT as in Uniqlo, because I
Yeah.
think isn't that the
Uniqlo.
abbreviation?
No,
Or is
yeah,
it
it was
U?
Yeti.
Yeah. Okay. And of course we have the great Ace Attorney, Ash Destroy him.
Yo, what up, guys? How y'all doing?
I was thinking of starting this saying, I'm your host James. I'm live from, the breeze, and that is Xbox. But I was like, nah, I don't want to throw shade like that. Because we are gonna talk about Xbox. And it kind of sucks. Every time we talk about Xbox, it's usually always something negative, except for that, Xbox
Not our
Direct.
fault.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, right. But we are definitely gonna get into Xbox, 'cause that is a big topic that happened this week. But before we get to that, we're gonna leave a little bit of the bad news towards the end. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, follow over on Twitch. We're gonna start off with some happy news, and that is on February 21st, 1986, in Japan, The Legend of Zelda was released. Happy 40th anniversary to The Legend of Zelda. Do you believe that? 1986, Zelda was born. Man,
That's awesome.
it's literally like, if you can name a game that changed, I don't want to say the genre, but just like basically had an impact in gaming as a whole, like it's Zelda, honestly. Like, Mario's definitely huge there, but Zelda kind of changed things from where we see, like, I don't know, Mario's just fun, there's platforming and stuff like that, and Zelda was more of like, this is an adventure game. And basically every adventure game just built off of Zelda and just kind of ran with it. And yeah, it's kind of nice to see where it has been and where it's at. And it's just like, it still holds up. A lot of it's, well, I wouldn't say OG NES Zelda holds up, but like going into Link to the Past, which Bryant plays like, every day. I always see him on there. It's like, man, I could have sworn that he was off, but maybe not. But anyways, like, going into Link to the Past, and then from there on, every Zelda game has just been maybe not the best. Like, there are some hits, or I won't say misses. There are some games that are like weaker than others, but they're still playable. Like Skyward Sword, a lot of people don't like that. I replayed it on Switch and I actually really enjoyed it. Like, once you get rid of the Wiimote, like the motion controls, I think it's actually a really good game. And yeah, I'm happy I played it. The story is great. I love the environments, like the watercolor art style. I thought it was pretty good. Didn't really look that good on the Wii, but it definitely looks better on the Switch in HD. Uh, let's go ahead and talk about what our favorite Zelda game is, real quick. Let's start with you, Bryant, because I think we know the answer. Or maybe
Yeah,
not.
it's gonna be Link to the Past. It's a game that is just so burned in my memory. It's a very pivotal game for me because when I got my first game console was a Super Nintendo, Christmas morning, 1992, I want to say, when I was 5 years old. And I remember opening up my Super Nintendo and seeing the Mario World box art on it, because I'm pretty sure it came with Mario World like in the box
Mhm.
back when back when that was a thing. And then my parents also got me Link to the Past and F-Zero, and I think Mario Paint. I think those were like the games that I got when I got my Super Nintendo. And I'll just never forget playing Link to the Past for the first time, and just how gigantic and dense the world seemed, and just how you felt like you were in it, or at least how I felt I was in it in a way. Like, I felt like I was Link in that world, and it just seemed like such a big world to explore, with lots of secrets, lots of places where you can find fairy fountains and power ups, and seeing a place that you pass by 100 times, and you can't get through it until later in the game when you get a power up that lets you get through it, and then you finally get through it, and it feels like amazing, like that sense of accomplishment to finally explore the thing that you've been like wanting to explore for all these hours that you played it. And I just kind of think about how interesting it is that back in the day, like my best friend and I, we played Link to the Past like all the time and trying to finish it, and it took us probably months and months and months and months to do it, until finally we managed to do it. And now I can 100% the game in under 3 hours. And it's just kind of, it's the same with the Mario 64. Like, it's just kind of crazy to think about how these games just seem so massive, and once you kind of played them enough, you can kind of nail them down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it's just such an amazing game, and the whole series. I mean, even if you go to the next game, like Ocarina of Time, the whole the N64 controller didn't have a right analog stick, and so the idea of maneuvering the camera around took some ingenuity from those developers, and they came up with Z targeting and the ability to move your camera with Z, and have it focus on Link as soon as you press it. Just a lot of really intuitive thinking had to go into making that game as good as it was with the technology that they had, because when it came out, that was a 10 out of 10 gold star game. I mean, it's considered one of the best games of all time for a reason. And just something that kind of messes with me is the fact that, Wind Waker came out 25 years ago, 24 years ago, something like that.
Let me see.
I think. Didn't it come out in 02?
Wait for your release date. Why am I spelling stuff wrong? Wind Waker came out, 02. Yep, correct.
02. Okay. So, it's one of those things where it's like if somebody came up to me and said like, "Oh, Wind Waker, man, that game from 10 years ago, so amazing." I'd be like, "Yeah, that was 10 years ago," but it's like, "No, no, 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 no. It was 23, 24 years ago." And it just kind of makes you feel old because you remember when you were a teenager and the games that were archaic were 20 years ago, and that was kind of like the original Legend of Zelda and Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, and now here we are, and we look at this GameCube game as like this old game, even though it looks pretty modern. It looks great. Like that art style has aged well. Like when that game was announced, heads were rolling because people were angry that it wasn't ultra real like Twilight Princess was. And I would say it's not a controversial opinion to say that the art style of Wind Waker is probably aged better than the art style of Twilight Princess, even though Twilight Princess is pretty good art style wise, but just that cell shade is pretty timeless, and it fits in with the Zelda motif really well. So the Legend of Zelda is a very special franchise to me, and it's one that's on kind of like gaming Mount Rushmore, Nintendo or not, as far as what it's done for the industry and games that have followed it. It's absolutely pivotal.
Yeah, Clint Robbins on YouTube says original Zelda NES is his favorite, but Link to the Past is also very good. And he said he graduated in high school in 02. Nice. That would have been 6 years before me. Yeah. So no, I agree. Like Link to the Past is one of those. Is definitely that was my first Zelda game, and I remember playing it over and over again, and just like nonstop and beating it, and just like having a blast. And it was like one of those things. Like back then, you didn't really buy. At least I didn't buy many games. A lot of the games that I played was through Blockbuster, renting it, nonstop. That was really. It wasn't until PlayStation where I would buy a lot more games, and I think that was because they had the what was it called? Greatest Hits, which will bring games down to $20. So I would like, buy games pretty cheap.
No, wasn't it Player's Choice?
Was it Player's Choice? I thought it was great.
It was both Greatest Hits
PlayStation,
and
I
Greatest
thought.
Hits, and I thought it was both Greatest Hits or Player's Choice, from what I remembered.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, because I thought the green box said Greatest Hits, but you could be right. Like
the green box was PlayStation.
Yeah, that was PlayStation. Yeah, and I thought
is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and I thought that was Greatest.
Oh,
Hits.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the Nintendo Greatest.
No, I was talking about
the
PlayStation
version of that.
Yeah.
Okay, whoops.
I was just saying like that's when I started buying
Greatest Hits.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
More games. But Link to the Past being my first Zelda, and loved it for a very long time. And then I remember playing Ocarina of Time for the first time. Like that was amazing. I think it was like I was in a Walmart.
November '98.
Yeah, like I was in a Walmart. I was in some place, and I remember just looking up and just seeing the game and playing like the intro. I was like, man, like I don't know what to do. Like I've never visited like a 3D world like this, and I'm just running around, back then in Kakariko Village, where you think about it, it was so massive in my head, and now when you look at it, like wow, this is actually very small. Like there's not much to do here, but back then it felt like there was a lot to do. Like it was a giant world. But yeah,
the world map seemed like so expansive. Like, how is this possible? And really, it's pretty quaint. It's like 4 areas,
Yeah, exactly. Fan, what about you? What's your favorite Zelda game?
It's hard to say. I mean, I have a favorite Zelda for like each console, like each like generation. But yeah, like Link to the Past was obviously like the one I grew up with because that's like my I didn't have my first console was an NES, but I didn't have any of the Zelda games on the NES. So my first Zelda game was actually on the Super Nintendo. So, like Link to the Past, hits a chord just because that's what I grew up on. I would probably say probably the one that I enjoyed the most would be Twilight Princess, just because it was so different.
That's
Like
interesting.
because the whole aesthetics is like so different.
Yeah.
Like Super Nintendo, it's kind of hard to get that dark that dark tone other than that dark world. But even with that dark world, it was still, since it was asymmetric, it's still also cartoony. I don't know. I just like the wolf part was like, whatever. I didn't really care for the wolf, but the overall like aesthetics of the game, I actually enjoyed, like the design of like Link and his like tunic and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that. Like Link does look really cool. He's basically I remember seeing his like face and I was like, he's just what's his name? The kid from the kid from Home Improvement. What's his name?
Jonathan Taylor Thomas,
Yes,
Zachary Ty Bryan.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Like literally when I saw Link, I was like, oh, it's just Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Like he looks exactly like him. Not exactly, but a lot like him. And I remember reading a magazine and they even put the comparison. Like, look, they look almost exactly alike. Which I wouldn't be surprised if they took the inspiration from him to design his character. But yeah, I'll give you that. Like I do like his design. And when the Zoro tunic that you get, which is the blue tunic, that looked really
Yeah.
cool. When you're underwater, he has like the mask to show that he can breathe underwater. And then he had the magic armor, which was the first time the magic armor came back in a long time, and that was the red tunic where it used rubies to basically I think like it negates the damage. So as long as you have rubies, you're pretty much fine. But yeah, I would agree in that sense. Everything else about it was kind of like, like the dungeons were definitely awesome. Like I like the dungeons. Uh, Again, I said that I don't believe there's a bad Zelda game, and this is a game that I would still play, every now and then. Like I was playing it on my Steam Deck before my micro SD card got, corrupted and destroyed. But I was playing it on there. So yeah. Ash, what about you? What's your favorite Zelda game?
I don't really have a favorite one because I wasn't really a big Zelda head growing up and stuff. I was more like Mario oriented compared to Zelda. Some games I did play in the past. I mean, I know Breath of the Wild is probably the only Zelda game I've beaten. I've never beaten any other Zelda game ever. Like not Majora's Mask, not Twilight Princess, not Skyward Sword, none of them.
Tears of Kingdom?
But no, I never even bought Tears of the Kingdom and stuff.
Oh,
so
wow.
the thing is too, I haven't like find a Zelda game that was for me for right now. Even despite the fact I've beaten Breath of the Wild, I may give some other ones a shot, like the game that Fan mentioned already, which is Twilight Princess, because I do like more darker tones of games nowadays and stuff, and may give that a try. And heck, at that point, I might as well start doing Majora's Mask because I think that's like the darkest game out of all Zelda games. From what I heard, so. But
Zelda's design in Twilight Princess is actually like completely
Really cool.
different too.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the design they went with in Brawl, right? I think.
Yeah, one of the
Yeah,
bowls. Yeah.
that's the Twilight design. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually like the Twilight design a bit more because it was like I don't know how to like describe it.
She's
It
actually
wasn't more.
older
It wasn't.
than Link
It wasn't more real.
in Twilight Princess
Older than
too.
Link.
Yeah, because usually
Yeah,
Zelda's
makes
around the same
okay.
age as Link. In this one, she's actually older than Link.
She seems to look a lot more mature, if that makes sense. If anything, which I like. I'm digging. I was digging that design way more than her older design, if anything. So, but eventually, I'm gonna have a favorite. I do highly respect Zelda on Legend of Zelda and what its impact it made in gaming, in the gaming industry as well. So it's just I haven't like really sat down and tried to like play multiple of them to find a favorite, and I might try doing that this year, if anything. So
I think you should try out Tears of the Kingdom. It's a nice upgrade from Breath of the Wild, and I think a lot of the issues I had with Breath of the Wild, I think Tears of the Kingdom kind of fixes a lot of those and makes it better. Like it's definitely it's more story orientated, which is kind of cool. In the mechanics that it
You
does,
sure?
yeah, Tears of the Kingdom is a lot more story based.
Because I've been seeing dudes playing that game for like 300 plus hours. I was like, bro,
Well, I mean,
what's
if you do
there
the
to
stuff
do in
that's,
there, man?
I mean, if you go
It's just
outside of the
there's a lot
story,
of
right?
yeah. There's a
It-
lot you can do. You
Mhm.
can mainline the game and just like beat it in like a couple days if you wanted to.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of
Mm.
side quest stuff that you can kind of do and that you can kind of just dick around.
yeah.
That's fair. I might just put Tears of the Kingdom on the back burner and just go for a more traditional Zelda game like Twilight Princess or Majora's Mask, because I know
Mhm.
those games are a lot more shorter. If anything, I'll start with that first and then go from there. If anything,
Yeah, I think Majora's Mask you can do the recompile and
yeah,
get the
that
3DS
the
textures in there.
that's definitely the plan. I just need to like find the time to do that and everything.
Mhm.
But before I even do that, I need to first complete all these other games I have in my backlog first before I even touch that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
For me, it's got to be Tears of the Kingdom. Like, I love Tears of the Kingdom. I was just mentioning that. I'm even wearing a shirt. This was not. It's a coincidence. I wasn't even thinking about doing that, but like, I really like Tears of the Kingdom. It built off of Breath of the Wild. It just made it so much better. Not only that, like semi spoilers, I guess, but like having like party members inside like that are with you, I think that's kind of cool because like it's the first game where you're not really traveling alone. You have people, technically not really people, but you know what I'm saying, that you have a party with you, which I thought was pretty cool. The
Yeah, it's kind of like
Mhm.
what's that? The Wushu style Zelda game.
Oh, like the Muso style,
Age of
the
Yeah, Mushu, like
yeah,
Age of Calamity and Hyrule Warriors, where you
yep,
have like your NPC players going to run around.
yeah, exactly. Not only that, like the traversal in it is better. Skydiving from up high and just like dropping it is just so fun. The world is beautiful, especially on Switch too. Like it's a nice world. Like it's kind of cool just to see everything going on. And the story, like I mentioned earlier, the story, I really do like the story of Tears of the Kingdom. I think they definitely improves. Even though I like Breath of the Wild story too, and finding the memories are always fun. Like Tears of the Kingdom just makes it a lot better. So I do like it. And the music's pretty dope. Honorable mention though for me would have to be like something that not I wouldn't say it's my second favorite, but one that I do think people should retry. I mentioned it earlier. Skyward Sword. It probably has the best overall story, maybe when it comes to Zelda. Like I really like the story from start to finish. It is a great story. The gameplay mechanics can sometimes get annoying. I know a lot of people don't like the you re-travel, you backtrack, you have to go to an area you were previously, but then you unlock a different route. But nonetheless, I thought it was fun. Like I really liked Skyward Sword. I had a blast playing it, and I really think you should try it. It's available on Switch. Play the HD remake because I think that's the best way to play it. If you play the Wii version and
Yeah,
emulate it, you're missing out. It's just not the same. You definitely want to play the Switch version for sure.
yeah.
I,
A lot
I
of
hope they
quality
come
of
out with
life
a
stuff.
Switch 2 edition.
For Skyward Sword,
Yeah, I hope they come out with a Switch 2 edition.
I mean,
Charge like $5 or $10 for it and display it at a high
I don't
resolution.
I don't think there's a reason for. I mean, yeah, the most you would get is a higher resolution because it's already 1080p, 60 FPS on portable or docked. So like the most you'll get out of it is like 4K 60, I guess. But the game just looks great.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, the game looks great at 1080p 60. Like the art style really is great. I played that game all docked, a little bit portable. The one thing I will say is because you don't need to worry about the motion controls, the fights are a lot easier because all you have to do is like put the thumbstick in your palm and just go back and forth like that, and you basically could kill everything like super quick. But outside of that, fun, great music too. One of the best soundtracks in Zelda, sure. All right. This next topic, I'm gonna go to Fan and Bryant because I think you two are the only ones that have this. 'Cause I didn't get to pick it up, and I don't think Ash has. And that is the Virtual Boy. Thoughts on the Virtual Boy? And you guys can start
Who wants to go first?
because
I haven't opened it yet, so I don't
Oh,
Okay.
know on its uses because I honestly don't want to open it. Kind of like I just
you want to
want to leave
hold
it
it?
in its box.
Man, I
Oh
gotta
yeah,
pick up
get
one.
yourself like a cardboard makeshift one, which it works. I've
Yeah,
seen people either make their own or just use the Nintendo Labo way or something like that.
Mhm.
So there's no problem with that. Using that either apparently. So
Brian, do you have both of those like next to you so you can show on camera as well?
Yeah, hold on, I'll get it 1 second.
Yeah, because so he can
I,
show.
I was gonna order the cardboard, but I didn't.
Mm. And
yeah, I've seen somebody made like a makeshift one out of a Amazon box, which I'm like,
Mm.
nice, good job. So
Well, they actually
So
have
this is
lenses. Technically, don't they? Actual
oh, you
Virtual
broke up there at the end, fan.
Isn't there actual lenses on the Virtual Boy?
Yeah,
I
like
don't know.
It doesn't just there's actual lenses right there.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
looking at the screen.
this is the cardboard one.
yeah.
Yeah,
See,
see, it's got two
even the
lenses
cardboard,
on the
yeah, it
inside.
has 2 lenses in there. So you don't have to get some type
Yeah.
of lens to be able to use it. All right, so Brian, your
Yeah.
thoughts.
Yeah, so I have both of them. I opened my plastic one and I set it up and I started playing it. No. It's
Immediately.
so it's not comfortable at all. I remember when it came out originally, I never bought one. My buddy did, and he let me borrow it because he just like kind of got over it, and he let me borrow it for like a month or something like that. And I remember I had like on my living room table, and I'd stick my face in there and I'd play it. And I remember as a kid just being like totally content and no problem, sitting weird and playing it, right? But then now I'd set it up in my living room on the table, and like I put my head to it, and I'm like after a minute, like, dude, my back hurts. Like this sucks. And the thing that really is bad, like the worst part about it is that on the Virtual Boy, there's nothing for your nose. When you stick your face in the Virtual Boy, like a the plastic shell encapsulates like the top of your nose, and it's just plastic on skin, like hard plastic on skin. Like there isn't like a
Like
rubber
a
nub or
foam.
something like that.
Okay.
It's just plastic and it's so freaking uncomfortable. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just keep that in the box as a collector's thing.
Yeah.
No intention on using it
Okay.
because the cool thing is it's not sealed, so you can take it out of the box and nobody would know the difference. And I just put it back and it looks brand new at this point. So I bought the cardboard one, and what's kind of cool about the cardboard one, or what's just a kind of quick note, it's kind of cool that Nintendo I think updated recently is that you can use eShop money towards purchases in the Nintendo store. It wasn't like that before. That's a
Yeah.
recent development. So I had a bunch of money I loaded in because I bought that Resident Evil trilogy thing, and I knew that stuff was coming out, so I had a bunch of eShop credit that I used to pay for it. But anyway, so I got it today, and it is so much better than the plastic shell, and it's only $25. So unless you are like a diehard collector, I don't recommend buying the plastic one at all. Like if you just want to mess around and play some Virtual Boy games, get the cardboard one. Like it's not a better experience in my humble opinion on the plastic shell, because what's cool about this is that like what you do is you slide your console in, and then you have the Joy-Con controllers on either side of them, and you hold it up to your face and you hold the controllers while you're playing it. And like if I was just playing like this, it wouldn't be like the most comfortable thing in the world. But what I did was I was laying on my couch, and I had like a nice support, but I was laying back enough where I could rest this on my face and play it, and it wasn't bad. Like I got through a couple levels of Wario World or whatever, and it was pretty good. So it's an interesting experience, and I think it's cool that it's there. I mean, the only game I've really played so far is the Wario World game, and I did like that game when I was a kid. I think the pixel art is pretty impressive considering how it's a 30-year-old piece of machinery, and it's very limited. It's a red and black only. There's no colors in it. And I think the pixels are actually kind of cool. Like the artwork is really cool in Wario World. I was really disappointed to see that the tennis game wasn't there on the get-go. Neither is the bowling game. Like those are the two games that I associate most with Virtual Boy, was the tennis and bowling game in this game. It's like every other game is on there already. Like the Telroboxer, I think it's called. Tetris is on there. Obviously, Wario is on there. I think that spaceship game, Red Alert, I think it's called, is on there. So like I think there's 8 games or something like that, and the only ones I've really messed with are Wario and Tetris. And It's interesting. It's a really interesting piece of history because it was just such a failure, and it's just I don't think Nintendo's ever had something that just failed so spectacularly. Like the 3DS kind of failed, but they turned that ship around in a big bad way with the ambassador program and bringing out like quality software eventually, and that thing hung around and did extraordinarily well. But the Virtual Boy was like after 10 games or whatever, they just killed it. They just said no, this is it. And it's just interesting that they've decided to bring it back to Switch Online in a way that you can play it with this peripheral. And I like it. It's interesting, but yeah, don't spend $100 for that shell unless you're a collector. Otherwise, the cardboard one is totally fine.
Mm. Yeah, I was wondering. I forgot that they had showed like pictures where you can put you put the Joy-Cons on and hold it up. Because I've heard other people talking about it. I said, are you just like laying down and you have it like on your head, and then you have the Joy-Cons here and you're using it? Because I was like, that would be kind of like
So funny.
uncomfortable, Because I was
That's
just
so
thinking like,
weird.
how are you using it? Like unless you like on your desk and you just like this, like how are you gonna use it? But
I feel like
that makes
someone's gonna
sense.
make like a head
Head
strap,
strap,
you know,
yeah.
like or just
I'd be down with
attach
that.
it to your face.
That'd be nice. Or get like a giant like headband and just like force it on your face or something like.
Every time I think of the Virtual Boy, I think of that one scene with Reggie when he was getting ready for like the E3 presentation, and then one of the scenes is him just going crazy on the Virtual Boy. I just imagine everybody like that per se, because and it looks so inconvenient too, which I'm like, man, Nintendo tried when it came out, but it was just the design, the efficiency, the ergonomics wasn't there,
Yeah.
So
Nintendo themselves also made fun of the Virtual Boy failure a lot of times during E3 or in other games as well, which is funny. Man, I miss those days of E3 and Nintendo always having some type of skit, like the Star Fox puppets and
Star Fox one was the best.
yeah.
they did a robot chicken collab, which was insane.
Oh yeah, they did
Oh
that.
yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, that was unexpected.
And then yeah, the collab with was it Mega 64 where they did the Reginator or whatever it was, like the robot Reggie.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I think the Smash Bros one was the best with Reggie versus Iwata fighting.
That was so funny.
Yeah, I like that.
Because like Nintendo was actually paying attention to their fans and
Mhm.
community, and everybody wanted Reggie and Smash, and they're like, okay, we'll do that. You can have him in a Mii form, which was so funny. Like,
Yeah. But it's good to hear your thoughts on Virtual Boy. I do want to pick it up because the Wario Land game or Wario World, whatever it's called, that's really the only one I really want to play. Everything else is just kind of like, I don't know. I can care less about the other stuff. Maybe the tennis one too. Tennis one would be pretty cool. We'll see which one I decide to get. I have to really debate on that one.
It's not worth $100. I'm telling you that right
You
now.
don't think so? Really?
I'm
No.
definitely getting the cardboard once I get the chance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
$25,
available,
right?
It's
Yeah,
available.
25.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
already
25
available
for the
right now.
cardboard
Should
is
be easy to
available
get.
now, and the plastic one is available now for 100. Yeah,
Yeah.
if the plastic one was 50, then I would say get it as a collector, no problem. But 100 for it offers no real benefit. Nah.
I'm surprised
There-
the
I
plastic
did-
one hasn't sold out yet.
I found a
Right.
mod because you know how the Virtual Boy has
Be
a
right
little
back.
tripod that it sits up on.
Yeah.
I saw someone modded it to where you could hook it up to a tripod. So you don't have to have it sitting on like a table
the
or something. You
cardboard
could
one?
probably just no, the actual full face $100 Virtual Boy. I saw someone like mod at the bottom, like added an attachment where you can hook it up and put a actual like camera tripod on it. So that way you don't have to like put it on a desk and then put your face in it. You can actually have it on a standing tripod. You're standing eye level and just have it
Yeah,
in
that
your
works.
face while you're perfectly
Okay.
standing. That would probably be more like ergonomic, if anything.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean
Or
that,
you can
or
even just
like I
have
said,
it
if
sitting.
there was a
Yeah.
headband on the thing, like on the
Yeah.
on the cardboard one, that would make it a lot better overall. But there isn't, so it is what it is. All right, moving on to our next topic. Xenoblade Chronicles X got an update, and the update is kind of I'll have Shulk talk for me. I'm not really feeling it. Like there's a lot of issues with this update. The biggest issue with the update is in portable mode. The upscaling, I don't know what they're using. Like originally I was thinking maybe it's FSR because there's a lot of artifacting similar to FSR. Like when you're in a cutscene and Elma was talking, in one of the cutscenes I was watching, Elma's talking and she's like swaying back and forth. And you're getting a lot of
Hmm.
ghosting or like artifacting as she's moving because FSR 1, if you remember, has a lot of that ghosting artifact, or FSR in general, at least like 1 and 2. I don't know if 3 improved, I don't remember. But you're getting a lot of like artifacting in the movements. But that's not the worst part. The stuff in the distance has like a weird shimmering effect, and you can kind of see like it's doing something. I don't know what it is, but like it's doing something in the background, and eventually when you get close, it kind of fixes itself. It just seems to me it's just kind of weird. Like I'm not exactly sure what's going on. In dock mode, I didn't really have that issue. I feel like it was a lot better and a lot playable, like less noticeable. Like it might be there, but it wasn't distracting me in dock mode like it was in portable mode. So portable mode definitely is a huge issue. Not exactly sure what's going on there. I hope they fix it because yeah, like I said, like Shulk said, I'm not really feeling it. I'm just I'm just not. I am kind of sad. Now, if you're gonna play this in dock, for sure, I think it's well worth it. It's $5, but if you're unhappy with this update, Nintendo is refunding people the $5. It's kind of sad to see that like a
Oh,
lot of people have been holding or off on like Xenoblade Chronicles X because they found that code of 60 FPS in somewhere. I forgot where, but they found that code and they were holding off because they were figuring, okay, there's going to be a Switch 2 patch for this game, and here we are. We have the Switch 2 patch, and it is not that good. Ash, did you get a chance to play it?
Yeah, 100%.
Hmm.
Yeah, with the 4K up to 4K stuff on the dock, I was really thoroughly enjoying that. I never try to do 1080p portable and everything, and I did see all the complaints and seen some like videos of it. It does look atrocious, and what I'm theorizing a little bit is I wonder it may have something to do with also the screen with that ghosting effect because we did had that issue
Mm,
earlier with the Mario Kart World and everything
yeah,
per se, which if it goes back to the screen, then I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know that could be fixable at that point. But
yeah,
as for the upscaling technology, I'm surprised they haven't like further updated to like FSR 4 at that point. I mean, actually, no, they can't. I just realized because I think that's locked to certain AMD graphics cards, which makes more sense. So at that
yeah.
point, they could just implement like a better DS
DLSS.
DLSS learning model or something like that, 4.0, and rock with that or something like that. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's beyond me. But aside from that, I definitely love the overall upgrade. I was mainly planning on playing the game mostly docked anyway and stuff.
yeah,
Um, but the $5 though, especially the fact how it looks in portable mode, they definitely need to roll back on that a little bit and just reevaluate some certain things now. And
hmm,
now it makes me question on like how long have they been QAing this patch before they even release it?
yeah,
Because like they had to begin with, we didn't even have like a release, like an announcement for like a release date of the Switch 2 patch. It was just shadow dropped.
hmm,
So when you see something shadow drop, most of the time it's mostly already good to go. But that big glaring mistake that they have on it, this makes me question like what's the process when it comes to Q&A like patches and games and stuff. It's just that was just such a weird anomaly that they have. It's just I don't know.
yeah. No, I agree. Like I know I've heard some people say that this is Monolith Soft's own built-in like upscaler that they're using because they've used like their own version of upscaling techniques to kind of use in I wanted to say Xenoblade Chronicles 3 that they're using, which it's all right. Like to me, I just think it could look a lot better. If they are using that, I would say like why not just use DLSS or figure out a way to implement it. Now, if this is DLSS, then somehow it's not being implemented properly because you should not have this issue. But I
Oh yeah,
do
I agree.
hope that they do something, they fix it sooner rather than later. Because I don't want to request a refund because I do want this, but Like outside of that, it's funny. I still have been playing in portable mode. Not the I'm complaining about it that like it bothers me, but I have played it quite a few hours now, and it's not how can I put it? I guess I got used to it. I'm just like whatever it is, but it is still distracting. Fan, did you end up getting Xenoblade Chronicles X and Andy update? No? Okay. What about you, Bryant?
I did get it, but I haven't played it yet. Because
Okay.
I've been reading like conflicting things about it online. Just that like there's some people that are saying that the criticism's kind of overblown.
Hmm.
And that like if you just kind of go with it and don't know what the difference is, or like you haven't seen other maybe mods or groms of it or whatever,
Hmm.
where it was like true 4K 60 or whatever, that that actually looks pretty good. But maybe that's referring more so to the docked version than the handheld version. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that I waited because I want to play at 60 frames per second no matter what.
Yeah.
I would say, in my personal opinion, I think they're gonna like fix mostly everything
Hmm.
before the physical release date for Xenoblade Chronicles X Switch 2 edition. Hopefully they do that before then, because yeah, that's a big, it's a bit definitely a big problem for the portable side of things. So
Yeah. And it seems like we're getting back to that point when it comes to the Switch 2. I don't know why, especially early on, where games are in portable are starting to struggle. Where docked, it's amazing. I mentioned before, Pragmata, the demo on Switch 2, is not as good as it is in dock. Like, docked is a locked 60. In portable mode, it gets to 60 the majority of the time, but there is some slowdown. And I guess I should probably change my words. Not saying not as good, but rather like it could be better, if that makes sense. But like Monster Hunter Stories, that one's huge. Like it's pretty bad in portable mode. The frame rate is just all over the place. It is not a lock 60 in some closed off like or like in smaller areas. You do get 60 FPS or more consistent frame rates. But like once you get to like the open areas, like forget it. That frame rate's all over the place. You go as low as like somewhere in the 20s to as high as 60, and it's just like yeah, it's something that's very annoying. And then Resident Evil Requiem, I was watching Switch Up's like review on it, and they said the same thing. Like in portable mode, it doesn't seem that Requiem is a locked 60. The frame rate fluctuates. It sits around maybe anywhere from like 45 to 60, but it doesn't look as bad because of VRR. It doesn't look like VRR is being implemented and being used in the game. So like it does like have a smoother transition, so it doesn't look too bad. But the frame rate is not a locked 60 in portable mode. So like we're starting to get that issue again where portable mode just having issues. And I don't know if it's just poor optimization or what here, but yeah, I think something has to get fixed, especially for the Switch 2, where I feel like the biggest plus to the Switch 2 is its portability. Like portable mode, you should definitely work on portable mode first and then dock mode later, in my opinion. That's just me, but I feel like that's where you should really focus on. Yeah. All right, let's talk about our next topic. Another big controversial topic, also part of Nintendo, and that is Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green.
it's
So
controversial.
yes, it is. It's
Hmm,
pretty big
interesting.
controversy. Now I'll get into that in a little bit, but first off, this was kind of like leaked earlier. Somebody, I forgot who it was, but I remember seeing the tweet of somebody saying, "Yeah, Fire Red and Leaf Green is coming as a separate standalone games in the eShop." And I was thinking in my head, like, really, like, would they really do Fire Red and Leaf Green? Like, I felt like they would do, and we talked about it on the podcast. I felt they would do blue, yellow, and red instead of that. Not only that, and I thought like, oh, maybe it'll be like just $10, maybe 15, but I was like $10, or worst case scenario, they would just add it to NSO. Well, they didn't do any of that, and apparently this leaker was right. They announced Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green. It appeared in the eShop first. A lot of people noticed it in the pre-order page, where it was saying available February 27th. And then Nintendo did, I want to say a few hours later, Nintendo finally did like the announcement on the Nintendo Today app where they're saying Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green will be available on the 27th after the Pokemon Direct on Pokemon Day. But the big controversy is the price point of these games. They are $20 games. not 15, not 10, $20. It's been like hit and miss. Some people are saying, okay, $20 not that bad because they were expecting $30. I think the original rumor was they were going to be $30 each, which I thought was ridiculous. Like, why would you sell, Game Boy Advance games for $30? But at the same time, I didn't personally think that it was going to be $20. I was expecting maybe $15 tops, but no, they are $20 games. The controversy comes from the price. Some people are also upset that they're not available on Nintendo Switch Online, that you have to buy these games individually. What are your thoughts? I actually want to hear Brian's thoughts because I know he's not the biggest Pokemon fan, but he is a big one in saying that he would love the Nintendo Switch Online games to be purchased. Like you can buy them rather than, have to go ahead and have a subscription for those games. So what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I mean, it's Pokemon, it's Nintendo. I'm actually not shocked at the $20 price point. I think anything more than 20 would have been ridiculous. Like if it would have been 25, 30, that would have been absolutely crazy. But I think 20, I'm kind of with you. Like I think 15 would have been the sweet spot, but 20 I don't think is egregious. You have the Nintendo tax, you have it's a Pokemon game, they never go on sale. They're always going to be charging a premium because they can. I wish that there was an option for every game that's on NSO to buy to own. Like you can stream it if you want to, but then you can also buy it because it's like, of course, I want a copy of Mario Brothers 3 to own permanently on my Switch, even though I'm always going to probably be subscribed to the Nintendo
L-
Switch Online
Let
program
me
because
ask
it's
you
so
this.
cheap. But
If, let's say, Minish Cap was available standalone for $20, would you buy it for $20?
probably,
Probably. Okay. Go
yeah,
on with your
probably.
thoughts.
Yeah. So I don't think it's as egregious as some. Could it have been less? Yeah, it could have been, but we're living in 2026 and everything's more expensive. It's Pokemon, it's Nintendo.
It's the tariffs.
15, I think, would have been, what'd you say?
The tariffs. They made
Maybe.
Pokemon, right? That digital, to the
Yeah.
World Wide Web. You got to pay tariffs on the web, right?
So who knows? But it's fine. I'm glad that they're finally out. Like I think that it's cool that those two are. I think they should just bring either the rest, like a bunch of others, to either Nintendo Switch Online or make them available to purchase, like Silver and Gold, Blue and Red, just for nostalgia's sake. At least make them available to play on NSO. But I do think it's a little random that they bring out all these old games all the time.
Mhm.
On Nintendo Switch Online, it's like, okay, these are the games that you can buy. Fine, it's these. Like it's the first time that they've ever brought out ROMs that you could buy and they didn't just throw them on NSO. So it's just kind of like, what's their strategy? Like, are they going to do more of this, or are these going to be the only two ROMs you can buy on Nintendo Switch Online forever? It's just random, and I just wonder kind of what their strategy is with that.
I wonder
Yeah.
if this is like Nintendo's like beta testing this just to see how it goes. Because if it does well, then they'll probably look at, they probably have like a game plan in place. Two routes. If it does well, we go this way. If it doesn't do well, then we'll revisit, scrap that whole purchase idea and just put it on NSO.
Mhm.
That's my thought, is that if it does well, they'll look at adding more, or you can just buy to own. And if it doesn't do well, they're like, okay, well, we're just gonna add it to NSO, up the NSO price, and then that's how we're gonna make our money back.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've heard like a couple of like different reasons behind it, and one of the things that I kind of agree with is that they didn't put it on NSO because they're very, what's the right word I'm looking for? Like strict when it comes to Pokemon. They don't want you kind of like, I don't know, like cheesing the game, right? Like finding out all these hacks and stuff. For example, like if Pokemon was on NSO, what's from stopping you from creating 4 different save states, starting with each starter each time, and then finding a way to trade and everything like that, right? And then not only that, like trading it to one save state, refreshing that state, and doing another trade and so forth, right? So like I can get a reason behind that. Like they don't want them messing around with that. But then somebody else said that in the 3DS version of Pokemon Blue, Red, Gold, Silver, Crystal, and Yellow, because I never bought those games on 3DS, but in the 3DS version, they actually disable the ability to do save states or in any of that stuff. Because if you remember, all the Game Boy Color, and the Super Nintendo games that they had available on 3DS, you could do save states, but in those games you cannot at all. So that's kind of interesting. Like I guess they could have found a way in NSO to kind of like, stop you from using save states and all that stuff, but maybe it'll be weird that, oh, why can you do this with every other game, but you can't do it with this? I don't know. I I I I think that they knew in my head, I think they knew people were gonna buy it for $20. Like I'm gonna pick it up. And it's $20, and I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, whatever. Like here's $20. People are gonna buy it. Like they're gonna complain, but they still buy it. It's Pokemon, right? People pick up Pokemon like a Scarlet and Violet. I think it's their best, if not their second best selling Pokemon game, if I remember correctly, when it comes to the sales numbers. And that has like the most horrible performance of any Pokemon game. Now it is now fixed, of course, on the Switch too, but still, when it first came out, pretty bad. And it's one of the best selling Pokemon games. Oh yeah. Ash, any thoughts from you?
Yeah, I mean, for one, I don't think the $20 price point is not bad either for both Fire Red and Leaf Green. I think the only thing I'm kind of like down about is the fact that you can't like do online trading or online battling with your friends and stuff because at this point
Agree.
there's yeah, because well, first of all, we're adults here. Sometimes we don't have time to meet in person, and play Pokemon and stuff, So it'd be better for us to, use our online connectivity features to do the same things that we used to do back in the day. But with this, it seems that it's more confirmed that the only way it's you if you want to do local trading or battling, you have to do it the local fashion way, if anything. Um, and I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but I wish that was like a nice add-on or addition to the re-release of the game, which is why I think why certain people wanted to have it on NSO because it already includes that online feature
Mhm.
anyways with it. So, but we'll see, we'll see. I heard that those games are going to be integrated with Pokemon Home and apparently, which is like the Pokemon Cloud to be more accurate with that. Um, but yeah, I'm going to be less reluctant to buy it mainly because I was really hoping for them to add online features to it because I think that would be cool to trade with you guys online and play battle and stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was definitely a missed opportunity on their part if anything. So
I agree. Yeah, I agree
yeah.
with that. That is the biggest setback when it comes to that no online play. They did say you could use game chat, but I assume they just mean that like we can each see each other's like game, but can't go beyond
Yeah,
that.
yeah, at that point, yeah, it's just I just really would it's just it was such a missed opportunity, man.
Yeah.
And if they would have confirmed that and say, "Hey, you could do this. Here's the video how to do it." I would have 100% buy that game day one. You know?
Yeah, I mean, unless they're saying like
Yeah.
you can use game chat to do trade, that'd be cool. But then I guess you would
That'd be
say that
great, but
that's online.
yeah. Yeah, it's just yeah. That was my only complaint about it. Now, to the people that are like actually trying to like complain about the whole thing, listen, there's so many times I've seen y'all complain about all their Pokemon games, but yet it keeps breaking sales numbers time after time. So
Mhm.
at this point, with the that such and such controversy is not really a controversy to me because the same thing's going to happen with Fire and Leaf Green, and everybody and their mother's going to be buying these games.
Yeah.
So I mean, listen, I always allow criticism, of course, 100 million%, but you need to like you need to back on what you're saying, right? And $20 is a pretty low entry as well, so anybody can almost afford it, even with this economy, you know. So yeah, I just don't think people meant what they say. They just want to say some stuff to just so they can farm some engagement.
Yeah,
So
that is true. Social media is
yep.
loud, but most people probably don't believe what they write on there or say or
It's
any of
it's
that.
it's social media is all bark but no bite
Yeah.
because it's been proven over and over again.
Hmm.
I'm sorry I had to be like that, but it's just you can say what you want, but Pokemon's still going to keep selling, and
Hmm.
Pokemon is going to remain the same way as it always has been when it comes to no voice acting, no this and that, poor optimization, because you allow it to be.
Hmm.
So I don't care whatever Pokemon controversy comes out because y'all gonna be enabling it constantly as consumers.
Yeah. Are you gonna pick it up, Fan?
Oh yeah.
Which one are you getting?
Probably leaf green.
Same here. Same here. Growing up, I had Pokemon Blue. I didn't have any of the Fire Red or Leaf Green games, so I never really like played those games. But I would do like Leaf Green. I have it for emulation, of course. I just never played it.
Yeah.
But I would.
And there's a lot
do
of
Leaf
like
Green.
quality of life improvements from Fire Red, Leaf Green compared to just Red and Blue.
Yeah,
So
and they did ask.
I mean, I can see why they did that.
Yeah, they had a Q&A where they asked like, why did you bring back these games and not the others? And they said they wanted to bring back the definitive versions of the console region, which they felt was Fire Red and Leaf Green. Which I'm like, yeah, I guess that's true. Like that would be the definitive version of those games. Which I assume means in the future you're gonna get the definitive versions of other games. So maybe we'll get Heart Gold and Soul Silver instead of Gold and Silver, and maybe we'll get Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, right? Because I feel like the 3DS versions would be the definitive versions of those games and not the GBA versions. That being said, I do think that the original versions still hold a lot of, I don't know what's the right word I'm looking for. Like I don't think they can be replaced. They're still different enough where it's kind of fun to experience the original stuff. So I don't feel like they should just throw away red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, crystal, ruby, sapphire, emerald, and so forth. But yeah, that's my take on that. But yeah, those games come out February 27th, which is this Friday, I believe. Right? I think February 27th is on Friday.
Yeah, 27th. I think that's the same day when Requiem comes out, which that's
Yep.
another red flag. I'm like, brother, why are you going to be releasing these the same day as Requiem, bro?
Same day of Requiem.
So,
Yeah, because they know that
yeah.
people who are going to buy Resident Evil will also buy Pokemon. That's why. And they're not scared of anybody else. All right, let's move on to our next topic. This is a very sad topic. This one actually like hurt me. I was kind of upset. I'm like, man, like I'm at the point where I don't touch my PS5, and this is kind of like enforcing that idea of like, man, like Sony, you really don't know what you're doing. Bluepoint, known for remakes such as Demon Souls, which I thought was an amazing remake. Shadow of the Colossus, which was another amazing remake. Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 HD Collection, which was not a remake, but they were HD ports. And a bunch of other stuff.
Did they do
Sony-
Uncharted, the Uncharted trilogy?
Oh yeah, Uncharted trilogy as well. Yes, they did that as well. Sony just went and said, "Hey, Bluepoint, we don't need you anymore. Goodbye." And I think that's the stupidest thing ever. Like, honestly, we have that. What's that game for Loop that they showed off? That I feel like that game is just gonna be like nobody's gonna care about that game. Like, yeah, it kind of looks interesting, but it's like it's not gonna take off. They have that rather than having Bluepoint do like another remake. Because like you have a studio that's great on remakes. I think I mentioned last time too, like, why won't they remake Legend of Dragoon? Like, you should remake the Legend of Dragoon. That would be a perfect remake for Bluepoint to tackle. But no, they literally they're kind of done. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
I don't. I mean, I think it would be cool to have a Legend of Dragoon remake, just because I remember when that came out, and it was a really interesting game for a lot of reasons. But I think at the same time they have to think about viability, and I just don't think that a game like that would require a lot of money to remake, kind of like Final Fantasy VII has had to have three
Parts.
games to encompass all of Final Fantasy VII. I think it would be a similar situation as that, because I mean, Legend of Dragoon is another 40 to 60 hour RPG or whatever, and so it would require an extensive budget to remake that. I just don't think the following is there to necessitate how much it would cost. As cool as it would be to have that, I think it would be awesome, but I think that the problem is that we have these expectations or these wishes for things that us as hardcore gamers would absolutely love and would buy the crap out of, but they don't represent what the kids are playing now. The kids are about, the Robloxes and the Fortnites and the in-app purchases and uh, the fake money and playing with their friends and the multiplayer and the hero shooters and whatnot. And that's where all the money is. And unfortunately, it's a situation where there's so many examples of games that come out that just have these high expectations of this is going to be the one that's going to bankroll us for the next 20 years, and we can make all of the art projects that we want. We can do the Legend of Dragoon remake, we can do the Bloodborne remake, which now that would have sold like crazy if they would have done a Bloodborne remake.
100%.
Like those would have been the games that that would have funded those kinds of projects. But the problem is that the market is so oversaturated that it's such a lottery. Like gaming has become such a lottery where you think about Highguard, this game that was the last reveal at the Game Awards. It had all the exposure in the world for it to succeed and to have a big following and to have people stoked about it, but it died. I mean, it's still going on, but the player count is extremely low. They've had to let go a lot of their staff. The end is in sight for that game. Like, I would be very shocked if they turned around. And who knows whose fault it is, because there's examples of games that turned around. No Man's Sky, Final Fantasy 14. There are games that exist that came out kind of rocky, but then they righted the ship because they were given resources and time to fix it. But now in the environment that we're in, it's like if you don't hit immediately, trash. You're in the garbage. We're not wasting another dime on you. And that's just kind of the momentum. Like, that's where things are right now. So with Bluepoint closing, it just kind of solidifies further where gaming is going, that we've touched on this podcast multiple times about how Nintendo is so good at that, how they can make cheap games, relatively speaking, cheap games that don't take, 10 years to make and have perfect water physics with, reflections in the pools and ray tracing and all that, but they sell a ton and they don't take a comparatively long time to make and they don't cost a lot of money. And that's kind of where the purity of gaming is. And that's why I really like Nintendo games a lot. But with the way things are going the other direction with PlayStation, with we'll get into Xbox, I'm assuming, in a little bit, where it's like Bluepoint, they didn't have a bad release, I don't think. Every release they've had has been critically acclaimed for being an extremely well done remaster, remake, quality. And I mean, when they got shut down, I saw a couple of developers like tweet at them saying, "Hey, if you got let go from Bluepoint, the Bluepoint closure, hit us up. Like, we're looking for talented developers." And that's great that they're getting offered jobs just based on their resumes and their body of work. But it's just, I really think that Bluepoint closing is kind of the canary in the coal mine for where gaming is going and where it's at and where we're gonna end up. And it's not good, because I think that these multiplayer games and these games that younger gamers are playing, there's only so much time in the day. There's only so many people you can get hooked on a game, because once they're there, they don't really want to stray too far away from where they're at already with their friends and their social network. So that's kind of my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right in that sense where I feel like definitely the people higher up, Herman, what's his name? Herman Holst, right? That's his name?
Herman Holst, yeah.
Yeah.
Homo Horse, man.
Like what he is looking at. Like, honestly, it feels like if it's not Horizon, he doesn't really like care about anything else, because he came from Gorilla, and there's like
Right.
50 Horizon games on the horizon, no pun intended there, but there's a ton of Horizon games coming out, and he doesn't really care about that. But like, I just feel like they could have done a lot and they didn't use them. 2025, or I'm sorry, 2020 was Demon Souls, right? So the launch of the PS5, we got that. And after that, they didn't do anything. In those 5 years, rather than them working on the now canceled God of War live service game, which was the last thing they were actually working on, they got canceled, I believe, last year. They weren't doing anything else, where they could have used those resources for something else. They could have partnered up with Konami and be like, here's Metal Gear Solid 1 remake, right? They could have done something like that. They could have, done a lot of other things, I feel like, than just that. Or like you mentioned, like Bloodborne. Like, make them tackle Bloodborne. Everybody wants a Bloodborne remake, or, they want it in 4K or 60 FPS, whatever. Like, a Bloodborne remake would have been amazing. They could have definitely done that, but they didn't do it. And Sony owns the rights to Bloodborne. It was Japan Studios' game. I've saw a lot of people saying that don't touch the games that Japan Studios touch, because it seems like they just want to close you down. Japan Studios, right? Creator Shadow Colossus, also Demon Souls. Guess what Bluepoint worked on? Shadow Colossus and Demon Souls. So next persons that they hire to go ahead and mess with those games, don't do it because you're probably next to go away. But yeah, it's kind of sad to see what Bluepoint did, and I kind of wonder if Sony didn't buy them, which I feel like when did they buy them? They bought them in 2021, right? Because I think it was after the PS5 launch. Like if
I don't remember the year.
you don't remember, if Sony
I
didn't,
think you're right.
yeah, because I know it was after. But if Sony
Yeah.
didn't buy Bluepoint, they would probably still be around. They would be probably working with Konami or some other company because they were great at what they did. Like everything they did was amazing. And a lot of people were excited for Bluepoint. When you saw the Bluepoint logo or when you heard that Bluepoint was working on something, you know that you were going to get quality. And I think Demon Souls was definitely the peak of their quality because that, I don't know if anybody else here has played Demon Souls, but like Demon Souls looks amazing. And the way it uses 3D audio is still amazing. Like I love these sound effects in that game. It's just like, it just takes the game in like up to 100, where if you were to ask me what's the best way to play Demon Souls, of course I'm gonna say the PS5. It's literally the best way because everything about that game is amazing on the PS5 when you compare it to the PS3 version. But now we won't ever get to see, I guess, what Bluepoint would do unless they all come together and create another studio that
Studio.
allows them to do that. I don't know. Maybe
They could be the next. Oh, who was it that did?
Samfall.
Yeah, Sandfall. They could be the next Sandfall.
I like how I already knew that.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, they can do. Have you guys seen that video of? I showed Ash this the other day. But that video of
Oh.
what if Sony made a Mario game? Have you guys
That
seen
was
that
so
video?
stupid.
It's like if you just
I'll
type
have
it
to
on
look at that.
YouTube, like if Sony made a Mario game, and it's like this AI like Mario game that they made. It's like it's a 3D, but then they have like voice acting. It's like Peach is like saying,
Oh yeah, I saw that for Zelda. Like if Zelda was made in 2026, and it's like, hey Link, make sure you grab that gold skeletal over there so you can da-da-da. Then it's like,
Yeah.
hit the red mark. Oh, we're gonna be in for it now. Like that kind
yeah,
of thing. It was funny.
exactly.
Dude, the way gaming has devolved to something to where the devs assume that everybody's dumb. It's insane, man. I'm like, God, and the dialogue it was so spot on. I didn't even realize it till now. Now the thing is too, I play more older games these days, but I didn't realize like how spot on that crap was, man. I'm just like, wow, unbelievable.
I mean,
It's-
I think the earliest I remember stuff like that is Sonic Adventure. Like that first level where it's like jumped on panel number 1. Once you land on panel 1, jump to panel number 2 and 3. And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
of course. I think that kind of makes sense. But maybe it was different. Maybe as a kid I didn't comprehend that and I needed that help. I don't know. To me, I just feel like it's kind of straightforward. But yeah, yeah, man. I hope they get together and create like their studio, keep their team, and kind of like do their own thing again. Like, because I'm sure third party companies would hire them for stuff. Or hey, I got a better idea, and I forgot to put this in the notes. But there was another big announcement. But I'll say that later on. They should just go ahead and connect. No pun intended again, but connect with CyberConnect 2 and work on the Dot Hack game, Dot Hack 0. Because there is a new Dot Hack game that got announced this week. And I am super hyped for that. I can't believe I didn't put that in notes. Super hyped for that. Like that is you like Isekai, you like Sword Art Online. This is like the beginning as that I know of. This is the beginning that started it all. But yeah, I do hope they come back somehow. Any other thoughts on Bluepoint?
I just wish for the best for all the employees that put all their blood, sweat, and tears into what they made for Sony, and hopefully apply that to other studios and stuff. Hopefully they make a studio similar to Sandfall. I mean, I hate saying that because now that's putting like a lot of expectations on the new studio per se, but I just hope they make something great out of anything that they try to do this going forward, and hopefully, I don't know. I really want to see like a huge boon of like just ex developers just making their own studios and creating huge bangers and stuff without the need of like corporations like getting in the way and stuff. I don't know. It will definitely take a lot of time and money, so it just depends if they got the funds or not. You know. So
A couple other things to add. They worked on the God of War collection. The um the original, the how do you pronounce it? Is it the ICO? Is it ICO? Is that how you pronounce it, or
I always thought it was Eco.
Eco?
Yeah.
Okay, the Eco and Shadow Colossus collection, the original one that was on PS3. Uncharted Nathan Drake collection, Gravity Rush remastered, and of
Oh,
course the other Shadow Colossus. So they worked on all those
I
games.
forgot. I forgot to add this too. Bluepoint was actually the one that was pitching Sony to create a multiplayer God of War game.
Yeah, that's why I said that's what they were working on last,
Eh,
before it got
Which
canceled.
I'm like, why did they cancel that? That's
Well,
ridiculous. That makes no sense.
supposedly there's like now there's I forgot who it was, but somebody was interviewing like Bluepoint employees trying to figure out what went on, and apparently the whole thing was that Herman Hulst or Jim Ryan, I guess at the time, he was not greenlighting anything that wasn't a live service game. So in order for
That's
them to make themselves useful,
unbelievably stupid.
the only thing they could really do is create a God of War live service game, because they weren't greenlighting any single player experiences at all. They wanted everything to be live service, multiplayer, or something like that.
I swear, man.
In
So
this
some
sense, there was another somebody else had said that they talked to them, and what happened is after they canceled the God of War game, they were pitching other ideas. But apparently, the ideas they were pitching were single player games again, and they were remakes. And Herman Hulst was like, no. Like, he kept saying no. So they still wanted a single player, or not single player, they wanted multiplayer or live service games. And they couldn't come up with an idea. So Herman Hulst was like, yeah, we don't really need you around. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these higher ups, I'm kind of tired of them because all they see is just dollar signs. I mean, I understand you got to try to run a business, but at the same time, you can't just run on one narrow path to success. You got to diverse in so many different things to make your business even more successful. It's like me saying that, hey, I want to invest into Microsoft stock only because I know Microsoft stock is going to make me some money, but your stock portfolio is not going to do well because you're not putting your money into ETFs. You're not putting
Yeah.
into other stocks that can also make you more money as well. Like it's just it's with such a narrow-minded thinking, especially when it comes to stuff like that. It's just
Mhm.
wow. We just need people like Iwata back. I'm sorry, like
Yeah.
we need them back, like 100%. It's just
Wada,
God.
Reggie, you know, people that actually knew gaming.
Yeah, pretty much.
remember
Iwata,
that Game
it's
Awards?
funny those two are mainly from Nintendo.
Yeah.
I
So,
know,
But
but
you
they
got
knew
Sean
gaming.
Layden, though, too. Like Sean Layden, who was at the Game Awards that you're probably going to mention. There was
Yeah, I
Sean
was gonna say that year they
Layden.
came out on stage together.
Yep.
That was so cool.
There was somebody else. I forgot his name. Andrew something, I think it was his name.
Andrew House.
Yes, Andrew House as well on PlayStation. Like, I think like that was like peak like Sony. You had Shuei as well, being there when he was part of like the third party and teams. Like he was doing good. Uh, who else? I think that was it. I want to say that was it when it comes to Sony. But that was like peak like PS4 like Sony days. Um, and even like the end of the PS3 era as well. Yeah, it's weird. Like I feel like Sony's just losing their way, and it kind of lines up with me kind of like slowly like going away. Like, funny thing was I was thinking of buying a Portal. I've told you guys that I've been thinking about buying a Portal. I was like, what, I'll play my PlayStation a little bit more. But it's like the more I hear about this, it's like I really don't care. Like, outside of like Astrobot and Demon Souls that are stuck on the PS5, I don't really care about anything else, because I have like Sackboy's Adventure, which I thought is also great. It's it feels like Super Mario 3D World. Let's play it on PC. I can just buy it on PC if I want to play it on there. Like, I don't have to play it on the PS5. I mean, I guess there's Gran Turismo as well, and I always say I'm gonna buy Gran Turismo eventually. I just don't know when. Maybe in another like 5 years or something. Like, who knows? Yeah, I don't know what Sony's doing. I don't think closing Bluepoint was the right call, and I just feel when I read that, I just thought, man, maybe gaming's just not for me anymore. Like, I'm not the era's changed. Like, it's a different world in terms of like that we live in when it comes to gaming, and maybe just PlayStation is not the PlayStation I used to. Like, well, for sure, it's not the same PlayStation from back then. And I just think that what they see is the future is not what I agree with is the future. Does that make sense? Like, it's
Yeah, I mean,
I think
they pretty
think
much
I've been on the curve.
wasted 70 people's like 5 years of their life.
yeah, that is true.
Like
I think
the
James, like to correct your saying about like gaming's not for you. I think most of modern gaming's not for you.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And I feel like a lot of people have that similar sentiment as well, including me sometimes as well, because it's just when you just go back to older games simply
Mhm.
and just play some older stuff. Like the old as gold analogy has never been so strong like
Mhm.
before, if
Yeah.
anything.
We
You
just
know?
look at
So
Brian. Every day playing Link to the Past, like, or
yeah,
Super Mario
it's just
3D All
it
Stars.
it worked. And then what's interesting is that like because devs were limited to certain hardware
Yeah.
and colors and stuff. There was like interesting videos I saw about CRT TVs where the reason why like all SNES and NES games look better on a CRT TV because devs were like limited on like
Mhm.
what colors that they can like put on it because
Yeah.
because of that limitation it brought out like a totally different result, which it was good. It was good in the long run.
Yeah.
But like something has to change and stuff. We have to and like we have to like ask for better higher ups that actually know about gaming per se.
Yeah.
And plus they definitely gonna have the business side of things as well, which that's perfectly fine because both Iwala and Reggie were almost like that. I think he wasn't a gamer at first. I think when he first came in, I think he was like a higher up from with a different company.
Pizza
think
Hut.
I forgot. Yeah, Pizza Hut. That's what I thought it
Mhm.
was. But he wanted to understand gamers and what they want at the end of the day, which lets you so many things that he definitely impacted Nintendo with, especially with the whole Wii Sports thing
Mhm.
with the Wii and everything. It's
you
insane.
got to know
And
your
I'm
market.
surprised
You got
that
to know
Yeah.
your demographic.
yeah,
Yep.
it's insane that Reggie shown Nintendo Japan this stuff, but yet they still haven't learned from that yet.
Yeah.
They still haven't learned. Like it's insane.
I think he
I
also
don't know. Yeah.
I don't remember where I saw this at or read this. It might have been one of those like did you know gaming videos. But I think he also went ahead and started like he got to the point where he started playing PlayStation games because he wanted to know what the competition was doing. I think it was him. I could be wrong. It might have been somebody else, but I thought that was him that he started playing also PlayStation and Xbox games to know what the competition was doing. It might be him or it might be somebody else, but I know somebody at Nintendo that was doing
It's
that.
it's probably true because it's probably written in his book called The Game, which I definitely need to go on and read eventually
Yeah,
and stuff.
me too.
And it's just like I feel like, in my honest opinion, if you want to be a good businessman, at the end of the day, you got to first understand your demographic first. That's
Yeah.
the first and foremost. And I feel like this day and age of CEOs and business people, they're still missing the ballpark with that.
Mhm.
Borrowing Brian's analogy of chasing the hockey puck or some shit like that analogy, I feel like Sony's like doing that a lot.
Yeah.
Like literally a lot because like I said earlier, all they're doing is greenlighting live service games. I'm like,
Yeah.
brother, you can greenlight live service games, but also greenlight other projects too. You never know what's gonna pop off. At least give it a shot. You know, it's just I don't know, man. It's
Is anybody here excited for
definitely-
4 Loop?
No.
I forgot what the game's about, but I heard about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
like, it's
that
just-
kind of speaks volumes right there. Then nobody knows what we're talking about when it comes to 4 Loop.
What an
Right
awful name,
now-
by the way.
Mm-hmm.
For loop, first of all, that's funny. It's a funny name to me because that's a terminology that you use in programming to like use to iterate through each of a item within a list,
Mhm.
which is why I find it funny. But like,
I didn't know that.
what? Yeah, it's like programming lingo. But
Okay, well then that went over my head.
That's all good. That's all good. But basically, notice how the games I'm like excited for, which is Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined and Resident Evil. Those are games that have been around for years,
Mm-hmm.
literal
Yeah.
years. You know, And, like same goes for Fire Emblem. That's a series that's been around for years. Okay, it's crazy. Now it's not to like throw a jab at more modern titles. I feel like Horizon definitely has its place in gaming history, along with what's the other one? Oh, Last of Us, of course, Last of Us. But it's just I don't know. It's just the reason why I'm so excited for those older franchises because the people that made the franchise great had a huge influence in the gaming industry as a whole and stuff. And I feel like with modern gaming, they're not really innovating anything at all except for like just graphics and ray tracing and shadows and stuff and trying to inflate the budget on those things, which you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't have to do that, you know? But what do I know? I guess I don't work in the game industry, so
Yeah, I agree. I agree. There's like all the stuff that I'm excited for are sequels, right? Or something that's comparable to like older games. Like I am excited to see what I forgot their name, developer Blooper team, what they come up with because I still want to finish Chronos because I think I started it and it's great. Like has Dead Space mixed with Resident Evil, even though like Dead Space was already similar to Resident Evil. This is more similar to Resident Evil than Dead Space, but it still has some Dead Space vibes in it, and I really like it so far of what I played of it. I like it. The puzzles and all the stuff that are in it, pretty cool, pretty cool. So, do want to play more of that. Pragmata, it's not a sequel, but like it's another game that has very, I think Brian, you brought it up. It reminds you of kind of like Vanquish, right? Like it has like some of that vibe going on with it, which is kind of cool. Which is an older game, based off in 360. So like that has that vibe to it, and of course Fire Emblem, a sequel, but I still think like Fire Emblem does things the best, right? And I am excited for Final Fantasy 7 Part 3. Like I just want to finish it and see where they're getting at with the story. And Dahak Zero, gotta mention Dahak Zero again since I forgot to mention it earlier. I'm super
I
excited
keep
for
forgetting
that
it too and stuff. You know what, James? I was playing it in the past until you told me that hey, you gotta watch the animes. So ever since then, I kind of just put a huge halt on that until I actually go back and watch the animes and stuff.
Yeah.
To
So
to
actually,
fully understand.
I think this is a perfect way to segue into Dahak Zero because I'm gonna add this before our last topic. And before I actually start on that topic, we have 48 viewers on YouTube. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button because that does help out the channel a lot. Of course, if you want to be in chat as well, I'll try to get to the chat when you do write stuff there. I'll try to bring that up. But yeah, Dahak Zero is a reboot of the game franchise. So it's literally like its own thing. You don't have to worry about having to play the previous games with Dahak Zero. And it kind of looks like it's a reboot in a sense of like I gotta put it like I don't want to say remake, but they're like taking the original characters from the first game, but they're gonna tell you a different story because the main character looks like Kite, who's the protagonist in Dahak, the first 4 games, Dahak, Infection, Mutation, Outbreak, and Quarantine. And then you have Black Rose in there, which is another character, and then Ball Monk, which is my Steam profile picture. If you guys know my Steam profile picture, that's Ball Monk of the Azure Sky from Dahak. And there is a character that basically looks exactly like him in there. So they show Ball Monk. There's a girl that's referenced to be probably, I believe her name was Aura, which she was in that game. She's like an AI, and she's an AI with the memories of what was it? There's a whole story. Like she has the memories of the daughter of somebody who died in real life, and the dad was so sad, so he created her as an AI to be able to talk to her in the game, and that's how he would talk to her, even though she was not around in the real life. But in this game, it looks like the aura might actually be bad. So you have the AI being bad, which lines up with modern times, right? AI bad, right? So it seems like that's what's going on in this game. And then there's Scaife, how do you pronounce his name? Who is, funny enough, a bad guy in the first 4 games. Within Dahak GU, he becomes your avatar. So technically speaking, he's a good guy. But here it looks like Scaife is possibly a good guy. And a lot of people already dived into the trailer that they showed off, showing like the differences. And one of them is in the original game, you go to the place, which is, I know the keywords, which is funny, were hidden for forbidden holy land, or Holy Land or Holy Ground, one of those two. Because keywords get you to the different worlds that you visit. And you would go there, and there's a cathedral. You go inside the cathedral, and it's Aura, who's like I said, the AI girl who the creator of the game created her based off his daughter, and she's there, but she's like tied up in chains, so she's like locked up in chains, and there's like a story behind it. I'm not gonna really get into the story because I want you guys to play it. But in this game, it's showing the remake, Dot Hack Zero, or not remake, but the reboot. It shows Scape's little symbol, which is like a staff that has like this weird symbol on it, and that's actually tied up in chains. So now we're, a lot of theories are like the roles are reversed. Scape is going to be the good guy here, and Aura is going to be the bad guy. We don't know. Anyways, what matters is this is CyberConnect's first published game. They're funding everything 100%. So they are the developers and the sole publishers. And they got the blessings from Bandai Namco to do everything on their own. So there is no interference with anybody. Apparently, they've been working on this game for, I think they said 10 years, if I remember correctly. That all the anime projects and everything they were doing, they were actually saving all that money because this was a passion project of theirs and they wanted Dot Hack to come back. So all the money that they got from Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, the Demon Slayer fighting games, and the Naruto fighting games, they use all of that money to develop a new Dot Hack game. So I think it's a pretty cool story for developers who love, a franchise that they created. Because this, I want to say, is one of their few original games. I think they only have 2 original games, and they really wanted it to come back, and they're doing it in this way. They already said it is going to be an action RPG, which is what Dot Hack already is. The original creator is in charge of it, and the team is consists of OG Dot Hack developers, as well as some new blood who were fans of Dot Hack, which is kind of cool. So yeah, that's honestly like I think that's pretty awesome that they're doing all of that, and I can't wait. I can't wait for it to come back. I do
that's gonna be a huge banger. That's gonna be a really huge banger, especially with that lineup. Yeah, that's gonna succeed really well.
Yeah. I do gotta say though, like I hope we get anime that goes along with it. Like I know a lot of people might be like, oh, why? But I thought that was one of the neat things about that game is that you had the anime series and then you play the game, and each game came with a DVD, which was an episode of the anime. And what the DVD did is it showed off what was happening in the real world. And then when you play the game, it was showing what's happening in the game. So it's kind of cool that they were doing both things back and forth. So I think that's kind of cool that they're doing all of that. They did say that they're going to focus a lot more on the real world as well. That back then they didn't do a lot of real world stuff, mainly because of the limitations of the PS2 and just the technology back then, that they couldn't focus on both of those. But with the technology now, they can do both real world stuff as well as in-game stuff. So pretty cool stuff overall. Are you guys going to pick up Dot Hack at all or give it a try?
I will.
Not anytime soon. I never played it.
Gotcha. What about you, Fan?
Is this? Oh, they didn't announce what console this will be on, right? Or what systems will be on?
No
They just-
announcement. Yeah.
I guess it's gonna. I mean, I feel like they'll probably do it on like PC, Xbox, PlayStation.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if they did it on Switch. I don't. There's never been a Dot Hack game on a Nintendo console, right?
There is.
Or was it on like handheld, like the DS and stuff like that, and 3DS?
Didn't
there's
you
Dot Hack
release Dot Hack GU?
Yeah, the Dot Hack GU
Oh.
HD is available on Nintendo Switch, or the
Okay.
the port, whatever it is, Dot Hack GU collection, whatever they call it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there was never like an original though. That's the only one
No.
that I can think of.
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were PS2, then PSP. Yeah, Dot
Yeah, I
Hack
remember.
Link, I think it was. And then PS3, you had
I
the
don't
Dot Hack
remember.
fighting game.
Yeah, I only remember Dot Hack on Sony, so that's why I'm wondering like what platforms it's gonna be on.
I would assume probably PlayStation, maybe PC, maybe Xbox, and hopefully Nintendo Switch too. Either way, I'm excited for this. All right.
I'll pick it up to try it.
Well, Warford. Play Dot Hack GU, the collection too, if you want to try that. Very fun. It's the sad thing is on Switch, it's only 30 FPS, which I feel like it's kind of like they could have definitely done more. But on every other platform, it's 60 FPS. It's available on PlayStation, PC, and Switch. PlayStation has cloud saves. PC does not have cloud saves, which sucks. So like I was pretty far on the Steam Deck, and then like I said, my my micro SD card got corrupted, and all my save data is gone. So I would have to start from scratch, and I decided not to. I'm not gonna play that game again on PC because of that. All right. Our last topic of the day. Phil Spencer. He's gone. Xbox, or Microsoft rather, has finally decided to depart with Phil Spencer, which is kind of weird because it's just like, it felt like out of the blue. It was just right there. Phil Spencer is no longer part of Microsoft, and Sarah Bond as well is no longer part of Microsoft, which was kind of weird as well. But I'm like, I honestly thought Sarah Bond was going to be the replacement of Phil Spencer, and that's why like she was always with him. That she was kind of like shadowing him, see how he does things, because she was going to take over, and a lot of the press too. She was in charge of a lot of the press, so I thought she was going to be the person to take over, but no, that's not the case. She is not the person to take over. Right here, the article on The Verge discusses Xbox chief Phil Spencer is leaving Microsoft after nearly 40 years at the software giant. Xbox president Sarah Bond is also leaving Microsoft in what is a major shakeup to the management of Xbox and Microsoft's gaming efforts. Asha Sharma, currently president of Core AI product, is taking over as CEO of Microsoft Gaming. So it's no longer being called Xbox Division, Xbox anything. It is Microsoft Gaming. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella announced Phil Spencer's retirement in a memo to all Microsoft employees today. Last year, Phil Spencer made the decision to retire from the company, and since then, we've been talking about succession planning, says Nadella. I want to thank Phil for his extraordinary leadership and partnership over 38 years at Microsoft, including 12 years leading gaming. Phil helped transform what we do and how we do it. Yeah, I mean, 38 years at Microsoft. I don't know, man. Like it sounds to me that I think Phil just got tired of Nadella's like thought process, because ever since Nadella like started butting into Xbox, it just seems like Xbox has gotten like worse fast. It just kept going downhill and downhill. And I think just Phil was just like, you know what? I'm out. There's a famous quote that Phil said was, once Microsoft loses weight with Halo, then he's kind of done. And I think that's the case, because last year was the announcement of Halo coming to PS5. And I think he was just like, you know what? It's not worth it. Microsoft has truly lost his way in gaming. What do you guys think about that? Silence.
Let's have a
Probably
moment
saw
of
the writing on
silence
the
for
wall.
Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He kind of saw what's coming. He's like, it's probably time to go.
Yeah. So there's a lot of rumors going around with Sarah Bond leaving. Originally was that apparently she thought she was gonna go ahead for a promotion, and I guess maybe she asked for it, and then the minute they told her no, she quit right there and then. So, which I could see it. Like, yeah, I mean, I feel like she was kind of being, like I said, taught to take over that role. But if she's not, then yeah, I don't see why not. A couple of things to know about Asha Sharma. She once worked at Instacart. She was in charge of apparently some AI thing in Instacart that drove grocery prices to go up. She helped Instacart make money. Yeah. So that's who's in charge of Microsoft Gaming now.
That's fun.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, she was the chief operating officer there. And apparently she doesn't know much about gaming. She says she's wanting to learn about gaming and wanting to like understand it better. There's a lot of things going on Twitter. They wanted to know what her gamer score is and what games she's played. And there is a gaming account that she showed off, and apparently it's only 3 months old. it does not have that many games on it. It's like a total of 10 games. Yeah, so there's a lot of that going on.
Did you see that reply that she had on Twitter of like somebody asked her what her favorite games were, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I like Chrono Trigger and Halo or something like that." It comes across as so fake.
Yeah, well, she's probably using Copilot for all those responses. She's like,
Copilot.
Copilot,
Right.
what are some good games that I could
Oh
ask?
my
Like,
God. Hey, she knows AI, so
Yeah.
at this point,
I mean,
Oh,
again,
God.
her title was Core AI something. I think at Microsoft was what her title was. So yeah, she's just using AI for everything. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if like her account was not even, because it seems that she's replying to like everybody. Like it's got to be like some type of Copilot integration that's like monitoring the account and replying back to everybody. But I did see that. What's also interesting, and I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about that, about this whole situation, is like, not to say like age isn't nothing but a number, but she's 36. She's only 36 years old. I feel like that's super young to be like, I mean, I guess I'm not saying it's super young because you could be young and still like a CEO of a company and whatever, but like, I don't know. I feel like she just doesn't have she doesn't have the experience in Microsoft. She doesn't have the experience in gaming at all. And she's pretty young to go ahead and be in charge now of the whole gaming division. I don't know. I don't know where this is what they're trying to do
It's
with
going to
this.
be one of two things. Either it's going to be an unmitigated disaster where you took out. I mean, say what you will about Phil Spencer. I don't
Mhm.
necessarily blame him for the troubles of Xbox. I think a lot of that comes
Same.
from above, and he just has to deal with what is coming down, and he doesn't really have a say. Sarah Bond always struck me as an intelligent person, like listening to her. So maybe she knew her stuff as well. But it's either going to be one of two things. It's either going to be an unmitigated disaster where this lady who is coming from a space where like that whole Twitter answer is just so emblematic of what she is. Like she's just like a placeholder there to take orders from above and say, "Oh, I like Chrono Trigger," and you're like, "Oh, really? Well, what's a character's name?" And she'd be like, Trigger." Like I don't know. So it's either going to be that or it's going to be like a Heath Ledger Joker situation where it's like, you heard Heath Ledger's going to be Joker and you're like, the dude from 10 Things I Hate About You, really? And then he ends up, winning best actor or best supporting actor or whatever he did at the Academy Awards that year,
Mhm.
where it was just such an unbelievable role and everything. And he put in such a performance. So maybe because she doesn't have experience and she's an outsider, maybe she can do something. But again, I think the orders are coming from above and that'll negate whatever she's wanting to do. It just seems so rudderless. It just seems so like they're just throwing everything to see what sticks. They don't have a vision. Sony just had that state of play that we went over, and I mean, say what you will about the mistakes, with Bluepoint and all that, but at least they have something that you're looking forward to over the next year. They have stuff that's coming out.
Mhm.
Xbox, it's just like day and date with PC. You don't know what an Xbox is anymore. And me and my buddy were talking about how Xbox had an identity when the original Xbox came out. When the Xbox 360 came out, it had an identity. It was the place you played first-person shooters. It was the place with the best multiplayer piece with like chatting and having Xbox gamer tags and your friends. And even, I don't know if you guys remember this, but when the 360 originally came out, they had this like intro video where they showed all of the Xbox people and like they said what their gamer tags were and how they built the Xbox for you to put your own faceplate on it and customize it however you want to. And it was just this very beautiful organic thing, and how they described it, they just seemed very passionate about it. And then I feel like Don Matrick kind of went another way with it with the Xbox One and being able to DVR prices right, and that was like the big selling point. And it just all went downhill at Xbox One, and it just seems like it'd be so easy to right the ship, but they're like, no, let's double down on Game Pass. It's like, no, like that's not the winning strategy here. Let's cancel Perfect Dark. Like, well, you wouldn't have made a ton of money on it anyways because you're gonna have it for free on Game Pass. It's just they wanted to go like a services route, and it cost them their identity, and because of that, this is the situation they're in now.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100% when it comes to that. I'm trying to
And that's
find.
probably why Sarah Bond left, because she was like basically like how you're saying how that warmer person is just a placeholder to take
Yeah.
orders from above. That
Yeah.
Sarah Bond
Mhm.
is just like, groomed to be the next person who was going to be like Phil Spencer 2.0, and they're like, well, we don't want that.
Yeah. Yeah, Nadella wants to be in charge of everything, which honestly, like I mean, he's running Microsoft to the ground too. Like, I wouldn't want this man in charge of anything. Like, literally, like Nadella, more like Nutella, right? Like, he's not like I don't know. This dude is, yeah, he's killing anything Microsoft, and I Microsoft's dead. Like I said it before, I feel like Microsoft's dead, and I'll say it right now, Microsoft is dead to me almost in every way, shape, or form. Like Windows, garbage. It putting Copilot everywhere. Like, I can't wait for Bazite to just get better with like NVIDIA drivers so I don't have to use Windows again. Xbox, like it's done. Like I really, really loved my Series X. Like I was honestly using my Series X more than my PS5. I was using it a lot. Like the first 2 years, it was probably the majority Series X over PS5 outside of like Demon Souls. And like that slowly started shifting. And then I started using my PS5 instead. And then it's just like bad news after bad news for Xbox. And it got to the point where it's like, you know what? I don't really care about the Xbox anymore because it's just not worth it. Like everything that it had, everything I was excited for, it's just it doesn't make sense just to keep it because I feel like this console is just going downhill. I'm glad I did get rid of it. Actually, I wish I waited a little bit longer. I probably would have gotten a little bit more money after the price hikes, but is what it is. Actually, no, maybe I sold it at the right time because maybe nobody would have bought it at that point with the way Xbox is right now. But I was trying to look. There was a quote that she said where something about that they need to go back to their roots on what made Xbox great. And that's kind of like interesting because on the outside, it makes you sound like, hey, you want to go back to what made maybe the 360 great, and you really want to go back. And that of course would make Phil Spencer seem like he was the issue. But at the same time, I think it's just Copilot. I think Copilot said that statement, and they're just posting that statement because they asked Copilot what would sound good to angry gamers on Twitter, and they'll make them like shut up and not have to complain about stuff. And they're like, yeah, here's a message you can write on Twitter or something like that. So, yeah, kind of sucks. It's a end of an era with Microsoft, and like Brian said, I definitely don't blame Phil. I think Phil was the last true gamer we had because Phil Spencer was actually playing games. He played multiple games. He talked about playing Switch. He had Animal Crossing. Remember, he was on that talk show that they had on Animal Crossing during COVID. He appeared on there with his avatar and everything, and he was controlling it. There was also like pictures of him with his Switch and everything like that. Like he was a true gamer. He played PlayStation. He played Xbox. He played Nintendo games. So he was the last of the gaming CEOs that actually play games. And now we have Asha Sharma. Any other thoughts on this? I thought you guys would have more thoughts.
No, it's just I think we've kind of gone over the spiral of this so many times because this isn't the first time we've gotten bad news about Xbox.
That is true.
And I just I
potential downfall.
yeah, I mean I am just so disheartened by it just because I just remember what it was like when it was at its heyday with the original Xbox, Halo, Xbox being the best hardware you could buy with the software it was running, Xbox 360 being a step forward. It was so fresh, it was clean, it had an identity, and then Xbox One came out and it just threw all of it in the trash, and there was just nothing special about it anymore. And it's just gone down this path, and they're just putting all these pieces together. It seems like they don't have any direction. They don't know what they are anymore. And I think it's probably going to get worse and worse. And I'm very bearish that it's going to get better.
Yeah, agreed. Well, this brings us to the end of the podcast. But there's one last thing that I wanted to talk about, and I don't know why it just escaped my head. There was one more thing I wanted to mention.
I want to talk about what we're playing.
Go ahead. Let's start talking about what we're playing because there was one more thing I was going to mention, and I can't.
Okay.
remember. It just escaped me. I don't know why.
Okay, maybe
Brian,
you'll
I'll let you
remember.
go ahead while I try to brainstorm.
Okay. So I got kind of psyched about Kina, uh, that Kina sequel that's coming out as of the last state of play. So I've been playing Kina Bridge of Spirits for the last few days, and I played it briefly when it came out, like very briefly, and like I thought it was good, but it didn't like hook me. But now I really started getting into it because I'm like, okay, this is a franchise that they have a vision for, and that sequel looks like really good. It looks like they really expand what the first game was. So I started playing it, and it's really solid. Like it's just a really solid um, game. It's just it's very similar to Horizon in a way, in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
You know, female protagonist, she has a staff. The way that Aloy fights monsters with her, or the
Dinosaurs.
machines or whatever with her staff. Very
The
similar to how Kina
Tyrannicons,
fights. Yeah,
whatever they're
whatever.
called.
And
Terracons, that's what they're
yeah, I don't
called.
remember.
Beast Wars.
So but what I like about it is it's not super deep. Like in Horizon, you have like different equipment you can do. You have different I forget what they're called, but it's like you can equip um accents to your powers, so you can put 20% electric damage to your bow and arrow for this kind of arrow or something. Like it gets really deep, and that's something that I just kind of I'm kind of over in Horizon. Like I need to go back and finish Horizon 2 at some point. But what I like about Kina is that it's just very, very, very basic, and there's some good platforming. It's a very pretty game. It's like playing a cartoon in a way. The music's actually surprisingly good too. Like I was playing it and I'm like, this music's actually pretty good. The story's, it's fine. It's not like gonna set the world on fire or anything, but it's a fine little game, and
Are you playing
it's
on
just kind of fun
PS5 or
exploring the
PC?
world. Yeah, PS5.
Okay.
Because I started playing it on PS5, so I'm really enjoying it. Actually, I'm definitely gonna finish it because I don't think it's a super long game. I think I'm probably
It's not.
close to halfway done already.
It's like 20
Yeah.
hours or so, maybe a little bit less.
Yeah, if that probably. I don't know if I'll go back and platinum it or try to, get 100% of everything, but I'm enjoying it, and I think it's great. They're doing a sequel, and they obviously have some belief in the property and everything, and that's probably going to be what I'll be playing mostly until Resident Evil Requiem comes out in several days, which I'm sure is going to dominate our topic of conversation next weekend. So that's kind of what's
Mhm.
going on with me.
Yeah. Awesome. Real quick, I did remember what I was going to talk about, and that is AMD stopping support for the Z1 Extreme
Oh
chip.
yeah,
Yeah. That
that's a topic.
that kind of scares me about PC Windows handheld gaming, because like we know Valve still supports the Steam Deck and everything like that, and that's another one that we could have mentioned earlier. But we know Valve still supporting the Steam Deck and everything like that. But like not having support for the Z1 Extreme kind of sucks. And Bazite will still support it, and they're still going to update it, which is kind of cool. So like at this point, if you have an ROG Ally X or a Lenovo Legion Go or anything that has a Z1 Extreme chip, you might as well install Bazite for probably the majority of the games that you want to play. Maybe leave a little bit left for Windows, so that you can play like games that use anti-cheat and are not compatible with Bazite. But yeah, there's that. And of course, we talked about it a little bit last podcast, I believe, where the Steam Deck was out of stock and nobody knows what's going on. Valve did officially mention that you're going to see inconsistencies in the supply, and that is because the memory shortage, which got a lot of people worrying about the Steam machine and the Steam frame, because this memory shortage seems to be pretty like a pretty huge issue for Valve, and it's got people wondering if there's going to be a delay into next year. Are they going to cancel it altogether, or are the prices just going to be ridiculous where they're just kind of going to price themselves out and nobody's going to buy it? So very interesting stuff. All right, Fan, let's go to you. What have you been playing?
Not much really. I did pick up Hades 2
Okay.
because
Nice.
I liked the first one, so I just wanted to see how the second one, and I thought it was going to be a prequel, like before Hades in terms of story. No, it's
Like its
it's
own
an
thing?
actual
The sequel.
sequel.
Oh, a
It's
sequel?
it's an
Okay.
actual sequel. It's an actual sequel. At the very beginning, you find out that the main character is actually got Zagreus, the main character from Hades 1. Like they're siblings.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Interesting.
So and it's yeah, like I mean, if you played Hades 2 pretty much plays exactly the same, similar. They've just got like now you got magic points, like a magic meter to deal with now.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
it was interesting. It was not
What'd
a
you
bad
pick it up
game.
on?
Switch 2.
Switch it? Okay, nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Ash?
That's all pretty much I've been dicking around with.
What have you been playing, Ash?
So I recently picked up Monster Hunter Rise with the Sunbreak DLC, which was like on sale for like $10 and stuff. Well, probably like a little bit less than that.
On what, PC or
On,
Switch too?
on PC.
Okay.
I have a friend of mine that's like a huge Monster Hunter fan ever since its inception, and his favorite was Rise, mainly due to the fact that one of his favorite monsters is in there, and on top of that, the mobility in that game is insane.
It is.
Which I'm like, when it first came out, I did give it a try, but I couldn't. But this was at a time where like my friend didn't know I was trying the game itself, and I couldn't like stick with it. But after like a second go around, after he convinced me, now I'm like understanding why people like Monster Hunter a lot and stuff, right? I actually took the time and sat down and looked through some weapons that could fit me better. So far, the two weapons I like is the switch axe and the dual blades and stuff, because those are like pretty easy to handle. It's like straightforward for the most part of anything. My friend's favorite sword type or weapon type is the long sword, which basically you could be a straight up samurai with that. You can parry stuff, you can do a whole bunch of cool stuff with it, you know? So it definitely adds a lot of replay value to it. And I'm looking forward to further playing this as well, because I actually started playing this game off of my Steam Deck. It is so well optimized for the damn machine. Like it's at 800p you can run it at say 60 FPS, and then you can go up to 2K resolution right between 60 to 90 FPS with it, with some decent graphical settings on it, which I'm like, that's freaking good. That's great. I love that. I kind of wish Capcom would go back and do like a Switch 2 edition for the Switch, because honestly, if I would have like choose between the two, I probably would have chose a Switch over the Steam Deck. But at the time, Capcom didn't have no Switch 2 edition, so obviously I opted for the PC version. And so far, playing off the Steam Deck has been a freaking blessing. That I'm so glad I went towards that platform, because I can enjoy it amazingly on both portable and on my 4K TV and stuff. So, but yeah, overall, that's what I've been playing. It's I'm not going to be dedicating a lot of hours into it. It's more like I'm going to be on and off whenever I hop online with my friend of mine and stuff. And once I'm like fully done with the game, then I might look into Monster Hunter Wilds, and which he did play, but already 100% in that game. The reason why he's not playing it, because all the content that they have, he's already done with it. He was like one of the first people to max their characters out and stuff. So hopefully Capcom, I mean, they will, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna like announce DLC for it eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I now understand why people love Monster Hunter a lot, and I'm glad to be one of the few people out there are all of a sudden becoming a fan of the series and stuff. So
yeah,
but yeah.
I mean, there's that rumor Monster Hunter Wilds announcement for Switch 2. They like patched in the Switch 2 verbiage that was apparently in the PC version of the game. But they left the screenshots of Monster Hunter Wilds and like 4 people playing the Switch 2 and doing like a local connection.
That's funny.
Yeah, so the game seems to be real. It's just a matter of when it'll get announced. Nobody knows. It might be at that Nintendo Direct that I think is going to be before Mario Day. It's going to be after this week, so after Pokemon Day, but before Mario Day. Watch.
They should announce it. They should announce it for the partner direct that happened last week.
They could have, but they probably are waiting for it because they want their own like the direct that's gonna have first party games. They probably want like all the big like heavy hitters to appear on there. So I'm pretty sure it'll be more wild, because I think Mario Day falls on, let me see,
March 10th, right?
Yeah, it's on a Tuesday. So honestly, I think on the 5th, probably like March 5th, there'll be a direct. Watch.
Makes sense. Yeah,
You heard it here.
I fully believe that, because at that point we're definitely going to get a new Mario game. but we're probably going to get a brand new 2D Mario game. And of course, and they're definitely going to do this. They're going to give you one more teaser trailer of the new Super Mario Galaxy movie before it comes out next month. Which I'm like, is it necessary to do that? I guess, but yeah. I know they're going to give us one more Super Mario Brothers Galaxy trailer.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Cool. For me, I mean, what I've been playing is, funny enough, I haven't played a lot of Dragon Quest. Like, I played a little bit of it, but not a lot. It's just like last week was a busy week for me. A lot of stuff going on. So I didn't get to play a lot of games. A little bit that I did play was mainly like Smash Bros. Melee. I would just play like normal, um, what's it called? Like not adventure mode, like what's called like the classic mode where you just go through and fight like characters. And then you have like the different stages, and then you do break the targets and all that stuff. So that's really what I've been playing. I was playing some Switch 2 stuff, but it was more like drop in and drop out. Or I did mention Xenoblade Chronicles X. I did play some of that when the update came in. But before that, I was playing Captain Toad. I was actually testing out Game Share with Switch 1 with my son. And we played Super Mario 3D World. It actually worked really good locally. Worked flawless. We played it together, not on Wi-Fi too, because we were out taking my son to a doctor's appointment, and like it worked solid. Then we switched over to Captain Toad, and I think what's kind of cool is the way they had Captain Toad work is if you play it docked and do co-op, you share the screen, right? So like when one person moves the camera, the whole camera is moving, so you're sharing where you're going to. But using Game Share, each person actually has their own screen. So kind of like the Wii U, you have your own screen. So, I was a Toad and my son was a Toad. And when he moved the camera, it moved his screen. When I moved the camera, it moved my screen. So we didn't have to interfere with our camera angles, which was kind of cool. And then I looked into it, and apparently Kirby Air Riders does the same thing, uh, where instead of it being split screen playing, each person you game share with will have their own screen. So each, first player and second player will have their own stuff. I was like, man, why don't they do that for every game? Like Super Mario 3D World would have been perfect, where instead of the camera moving along all together, each person would have their own camera, and you can kind of move through the whole game that way. Or Mario Kart World, that doesn't have game share, which is kind of weird, but like having game share and adding it to that will kind of eliminate split screen. So it's almost like they went back to the Wii U, and they were like, oh yeah, with the Wii U, we talked about instead of you having to do split screen, each person can have their own screen. They're kind of implementing that to game share, or like the Sony 3D TV, where if you had the glasses, there's like player 1 and player 2 mode. You could still be looking at the TV, but like each person had their own screen, which was kind of cool. So yeah.
I just wanted to mention real quick. I have, because I know you're probably curious about this. I have been playing Dragon Quest 7 as well, still,
nice.
and I just got to the island where I think you can finally change your job.
Oh, nice.
That's where I'm at. So
yeah, I gotta play. Like the last thing I did. What was the last thing I did? It wasn't much. I was on the island where everybody turned into stone. That was the last thing. Did you do that? I think
I don't think so.
I don't think it's part of the main story. It might be a side quest island.
Okay.
But yeah, like everybody's turned to stone, and you're trying to figure out what happened there. Very sad story. Like I feel like every story in that game is sad. Every island you go to, there's something miserable happening. But I also feel like there's also like a huge like what's the right word I'm looking for? Like an issue in the plot of that story, because one of them is they showed this kid in the past, and apparently like 50 years has like gone by that these people are in stone, but it shows this kid in the past, and then you do something, and basically what you do, I don't want to say spoilers. Anyways, that kid somehow appears again. Wait a minute, how's this kid alive? If 50 years, well, how's this kid still a kid if 50 years passed? And how is he alive if there was no water on this island, which was the main issue of that island? There's no water or food. Like, where did this kid come from? But he's still there. I don't know. It was kind of weird. Like maybe I missed something and I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, that was the weirdest thing that happened on that island. But
I like how they're all individual stories. Like they're all these little vignettes, and it's just then you bring them forward and then you go see it. It has a very nice hook to it.
Yeah, it does. And it kind of like it's good ending points. Like once you end, you're like, all right, take a break, and tomorrow I'll continue.
Yeah, it's perfect for that.
Yep.
Yep.
such a great game. Before the podcast started, I was watching Geekdom 101 because he's also playing through 7 Reimagined on his channel, and yeah, he's having a blast. He's enjoying it too. Great game. Highly recommend. I gotta continue. I almost restarted it on Switch 2 since I've been using my Switch 2. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and beat it on Switch 2. But I'm like, I already did these like other 3 islands. I don't want to have to go back and do it. So, all right. Well, that brings us to the end of today's podcast. Appreciate everybody for joining. As always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Follow over on Twitch. Definitely hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We have 54 viewers today. A pretty big, a lot of people watching today. Appreciate you guys coming in. Hit that subscribe button. We do this every Sunday. We have a podcast. Unless there's like some major event or something happens, like I get sick or anything like that. Typically I stream, but like I mentioned, this whole past week there was a lot of things that went down, so I didn't really get a chance to do that. But I will continue this Friday with my stream of Eternal Darkness. So definitely catch me there. Unless I decide to do Requiem.
I'll be there too.
Like
No.
no, you want me
Don't
to
stream
continue this?
Requiem. Just finish Eternal Darkness. Finish Eternal Darkness.
We'll see what I decide then. What else? There was something else I was gonna mention. I completely forgot now. Yeah, anyways, yeah, you can catch me on the stream Friday, and then of course Sunday we have the podcast there. I feel like there was something else I was gonna mention. I can't remember. Video. I won't promise a video this week again, because some stuff like is going on, and I kind of have to get this fixed before I can continue that. Because right now my days off, which would be the days that I get to do my videos, don't really have days off because I'm trying to get something sorted out. So I have to do this before I get free time again. Once I complete this, then I'll be able to start my videos again. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. Brian, where can I catch you at?
I'm at red_so_deep on Twitter.
What about you, Fan?
You can catch me at Phaneckswhy.
And you, Ash?
You guys ran out the show on YouTube.
And as always, catch me right here at the Random Encounter. I'll see you guys Friday.